Now, of course, the ANC is celebrating its 103rd birthday. Let's cross to our SABC contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko, who's standing by with the ANC's Deputy Secretary General, Jessie Duarte.
Well, thanks very much there to Sam. Well, as you have correctly pointed out, the ANC is indeed turning 103 years today, and lots of celebrations being prepared. Its leaders have been going around the province, mobilizing the party faithful, mobilizing the ANC's supporters. The party has made no secret of its desire to capture this province, the only province that the ANC doesn't rule. And joining me now is the party's Deputy CEO, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Jessie Duarte. Happy birthday to the ANC.
Thank you, and happy birthday to all South Africans. The ANC belongs to all of us.
Any radically new or different statement that we should expect the president to make on Saturday when there's the formal birthday bash here in Cape Town?
We can expect the president to talk very specifically about where we will go with the question of land restitution this year, what we are planning to do in terms of the energy issues in our country. We can expect the president to talk at a great deal about the ANC itself, about reinvesting in the values of O.R. Tambo and Nelson Mandela, getting back to grassroots and ANC members becoming active citizens in their own communities, being the volunteers who carry forward every manner of service to the people. So that's going to be the tone of the speech. But obviously, as you said, we're going around. We're also listening a great deal. The Western Cape, as you said, is not in the hands of the ANC, and we must say that we experienced the lack of freedom of movement. Everything that the Freedom Charter offers and our Constitution offers is not available to all South Africans here in the Western Cape. We ourselves have understood how the bureaucracy here can choke creativity. And look, we're here. We're going to have a great day today. We're in every region. The SGs in the South Coast, the DPs in Langa, the president himself will be doing a walkabout. We're coming to Khayelitsha this afternoon at 3 o'clock, where we will have a mini rally. So today is a day of really celebrating, and Saturday we're expecting a multitude of people.
So there's obviously a deliberateness about coming to the Western Cape. Yeah. But when you sat at that meeting yesterday as the National Executive Committee, and in previous meetings that you've had, and in trying to strategize about the Western Cape, what as a party and as the leaders of the governing party have you sort of looked at and said, this is where we missed the point, or this is where we've been missing the point over the past 20 years, that which presumably has made it difficult for you to be able to capture this province?
I think there's several issues, but I think our most important task ahead of us is building a South African nation, a nation of South Africans, irrespective of race, color, or creed. And to be less concerned about whether we lead in a province and make sure that people must understand that the ANC leads all who live in a province, will serve all who live in a province. We're not interested in the race question, although that question keeps rising over and over again. And I must say that it's a question that is deliberately placed on the agenda because South Africa still has to undo racism. A great deal of it still exists amongst ourselves. We describe ourselves as a person speaking a particular language before we say, I am a South African. So there is something that we need to do very differently throughout the country, not in the Western Cape. And can I just say to you that every province gets a turn to host the January the 8th celebration. And we were here 9 years ago. In the Western Cape. In 2006, we were at the Athlone Stadium, and this was simply the turn of the Western Cape. But it turns out that we're very determined to work incredibly hard to win back this province so that South Africa looks less like a federation, a federal state, The government of the Western Cape wishes to make it look that way. We are saying we're a unitary state, we want to unite this country, and the Western Cape must come into South Africa under the flag of South Africa, under one constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and we must all live and work together. This is not a separate country.
Now, let's talk then a bit about the other sort of big picture issues. You have spoken about the values of Oliver Tambo, of Nelson Mandela. What for you are the key values that you want to, the sort of things you want to communicate to South Africa, that these are the values we should all aspire towards?
Integrity, honesty, serving the people without question, not walking away from problems, understanding the notion of inequality, unemployment, and poverty as being the core issues that we need to tackle in our country. And that requires commitment of a particular type. It requires commitment where people in government do not see themselves as being employed there, but see themselves as having a mission to transform this country into something that we could all be very proud of. Oliver Tambo in particular taught us that South Africa the Freedom Charter says South Africa belongs to all of us, but Oliver Tambo stressed this over and over again, that in order for South Africa to succeed, it can only succeed if we work tirelessly, relentlessly, and in a manner that sacrifices ourselves to the cause of making a better life for the people. And that mustn't just be words. That means every person who is a public official must be able to work 24 hours a day and not expect to be rewarded beyond the salary that they earn.
Now, you and Gwede Mantashe are running the ANC's machinery. Are you convinced, or from what you've seen over the past few years, do you have the kind of cadreship you are talking about, the kind of cadreship that does all good things of this world?
In the main, we have that kind of cadreship. Obviously, there are also people who are not like that. We do not wish the ANC to be seen from the eye scope of the people who are not doing the right things. Unfortunately, that's what the media focuses on. But there are brilliant young minds in this country who are doing a great job. There are wonderful ministers in our government who are doing a brilliant job. There are great provincial leaders and very good premiers in this country who are very committed. We will build on that. On the other hand, we will also make sure that those who are not doing their job properly must actually be asked to go and do something else. So we're at that stage in the ANC at the moment where there's real introspection, but also we're not going to do what the media would like us to do, is to kill everybody, make everybody look guilty and corrupt. That is not true. When we spit out corruption, we want to do that. We want to get rid of corrupt people. And so we're not going to stop doing that. And I think that what we must accept and understand is that we are going to live the model of Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo and Chris Hani and those people who sacrifice themselves without question on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without expecting somebody to give us an extra little bit of money behind the table. That is where the problem is. Thank you very much.
Deputy Secretary General of the ANC. The ANC is going to do it, but it's going to do it its own way.